Just an unbelievable story. I'm sure that was your reaction. But here you have Sergeant Wayne Ireland re-enlists in the Army National Guard right after 9/11, fights for our country, comes home only to find out that he's been being denied the very rights that he fought for.
No, I agree totally, and I think you sum it up so well. These are the men and women that are out there, literally, laying it all out, and then to come home and have the bureaucracy, feel like that they could somehow impinge on his ability to enjoy his Second Amendment rights. Makes no sense at all.
And you used a good word, bureaucracy, because he talked about how he's very concerned, he and his wife very concerned, that the Veterans Administration is using a broad brush and denying people that have the syndrome that he's battling, just denying them flat out without even knowing who these people are.
No, that's exactly right. And so many people, have come home and have had some problems, with adjustment and this and that. But that in no way makes them violent. That in no way makes them unable to have a firearm. In fact, most of these individuals are avid sportsmen and enjoy the outdoors, and so it truly is a real tragedy.
And I know you actually call this an injustice.
No, I think that word is not too strong at all. In fact, I wish I had another adjective to describe it, in the sense that it's certainly unfair. It truly is an injustice. We're in the process now, working with Jerry Moran. Jerry Moran has a bill that would take care of this, and in the process now of seeing if we can perhaps insert it into some Veterans Affairs legislation, do an amendment that would take care of this. But it is something that has to be dealt with. I'm just glad that Sergeant Ireland, chose to come forward, make his case public, so that we could understand that this actually was going on and nip it in the bud.
Really, it is so true. And you just wonder how many other veterans are dealing with this. I mean, someone was talking about that there are veterans who don't get the help they need for the very fear of losing their rights.
Well, I think you make a good point. That certainly would be something that would cause others not to come forward, because so many of these these individuals are avid sportsmen. I mean, this is something that they really enjoy. And so that's another thing that would be a very tragic unintended consequence. But it's just something I so appreciate you, in the show, bringing this forward. It's another avenue, and I'm sure as a result of your efforts, as a result of Sergeant Ireland's efforts, we'll have others come forward. This is something I think that Congress will aggressively address. Hopefully we can get an amendment in the VA committee and go forward with this as soon as possible, so that this doesn't happen to individuals and rein in an out-of-control bureaucracy. Really,
so true. Have you had a chance to talk to the sergeant yourself?
No, ma'am, I haven't. My staff has talked to him at length, and again, trying to guide him through this, as we go forward.
So what is the legislation you're looking at right now, possibly adding something on to correct this awful, awful tragedy?
Well, it's H.R. 2547, the Veterans Second Amendment Protection Act, and that would require that before the VA can forward the veteran's name to an agency like the FBI or the NICS, that an appropriate judicial authority has to rule that the veteran poses a danger and should not own a firearm. So there are individuals that should not be in a situation that they have a firearm, but those are very few and far between, and they need to have the benefit of every opportunity to make sure that they're represented, and that's what this is all about. So feel like that the Moran bill would solve the problem that we're facing right now.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you look at the fact that the ATF said that he could go to jail if a firearm was found in his home. I mean, here he is, a soldier fighting for everything America stands for, and they treat him almost like a criminal.
Well, and he hadn't been notified or anything else.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Here's a guy that was getting his rifle out of the pawn shop, because hard times, pawned his rifle, wanted to go, get ready for the hunting season, and then finds out in that regard. And again, that makes no sense at all. And it's something that we have to deal with. The sad thing is that we've gotten to that state right now.
Yes, it is. What's been the reaction to your office since this has hit the news?
Well, people are very concerned. As you say, this is an injustice to begin with, and then the point that you make that this will be a disincentive for others, that are having problems, to be willing to step forward is a huge deal. So, at a time, that we should be, and we are, doing all we can to encourage individuals that are having problems to come forward. If they feel like they're going to be hassled in any way by, this bureaucracy, then we've got a huge problem.
Mm-hmm. And I really admire Wayne and his wife, because they said they're not just doing this for Wayne. It's for all veterans. It's for all Americans. They're very concerned about our constitutional rights and making sure those rights are protected for every law-abiding American out there.
Well, Wayne has had the courage to serve, his country, and went forward in that way. And this might be one of his greatest contributions,
Yes.
is serving in this way and being willing to step forward and voice an injustice, so that not only helping himself, but helping, I think, many others. And then if we don't nip this in the bud right now, many, many others, as the bureaucracy rolls, this really is a great sacrifice, and he should be, certainly complimented or praised for his actions.
And I'm sure he can't thank you enough for leading the charge on this and trying to get something done in Congress. Do you have any idea what time frame we're talking about?
Well, hopefully we'll be able to. We're trying to get it done in the next week or so. Congress will be meeting next week, and I'm sure that this will be something that's widely discussed. But we will try and get it done in the next week or two as we meet, in session before the November elections. All
righty. Well, thanks for taking the time. I know you're busy, and we'll check with you in the next week and see how things are moving along.
Well, yes, ma'am. And again, thank you so much this is such an important story. I just appreciate, on Wayne's behalf and so many others, the fact that you all are leading the charge and making a big difference in making this known to the public.